film that debuted at Sundance a couple months ago. Now it debuts on Netflix, and it is the directorial debut of famous actress Rebecca Hall, who also wrote the film. The film stars Tessa Thompson, Ruth Negga, Andre Holland, and Alexander Skarsgård. It tells a story about these two friends who have not seen each other in over 10 years reunite, and they are in a mutual obsession over their carefully constructed lives. The film is an hour and 38 minutes. It is PG-13. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here on Max Talks Movies. We're talking about Passing on Netflix. If you're new to this channel, please like the video. That's the best way to support this channel. Also, please comment down below, first of all, your thoughts on this film. We know if you've seen it, this is your favorite, least favorite film on Netflix this past year. Also, please let me know if you're going to check out Passing this week on a busy week of stuff coming out on both streaming and in theaters. Also, please subscribe, ring the bell if you're new to the channel. I do movie reviews, TV show reviews, streaming platform reviews, movie rankings, box office breakdown show, all Netflix movie reviews I do on the channel. So please consider subscribing and ringing the bell. Let's talk about Passing. So I was actually pretty excited for this film, really based off of Rebecca Hall getting a chance to direct. Again, her directorial debut, her writing really debut as well. So, and the fact that it's a black and white film, it's tackling a lot of themes. And that's kind of what I'm excited about heading into this film. So let's talk about Passing, my positives, my negatives, and I'll give you my score out of 5 stars. So overall, I really did have, this is an extremely solid movie, really from start to finish. It's extremely well acted, solid directing. Just wish a bit more themes were added in. And let's get into my positives first. The acting is really good in this movie. Tessa Thompson as the main character is really, really good in this film. She's a really open person, but also not too open. She also is passing as being happy. And in her marriage with her 2 kids, what to tell her 2 kids. Tessa Thompson's really good in this film. She's always good, but nice to see her in a lead role because this really is her movie. And she's quite good in this film. Really from start to finish, she's good chemistry with everyone around her. And you really feel at times why you wouldn't want to tell her kids something like that or what she's passing for. So Tessa Thompson was very good in this film. But for me, by far the best performance in the entire film was Ruth Negga, who everyone knows is an extremely underrated actress who is by far steals this entire film. She's really fantastic as her best friend, former friend, Claire, who gets into the situation and she's passing as a white woman. They're both light-skinned African-Americans, but Ruth Negga is passing as a white woman with her white husband, and her husband's played by Alexander Skarsgård, and he hates African-Americans. And she's passing as she has kids, she has a happy life, lives in the city, husband's a doctor, all these different types of things. But she also wants to be a part of the African-American community at the same exact time, and what truly makes her happy or makes herself financially satisfied. Ruth Negga is really, really fantastic in this film. You can feel when she gets emotional. You can really feel her out of all the characters really combined. She really is really, really great in this film. Deserves all the credit that she's getting from a lot of critics. She really, really is must watch in this film. Andre Holland's very good. He's in a very small role as Tessa Thompson's husband, and even in a smaller role, Alexander Skarsgård as the husband has some really big emotional moments. He really is the 2 most jarring racial scenes in the entire film. And I said, what this film tackles really well is what the meaning of passing is. And there's a lot of good themes on what do you tell your children and when is it right to tell your children about the horrors of the world. And I did believe that both of those themes were tackled very, very strongly. Especially with Ruth Negga's character is really passing as a white woman and what that means to her in society. And I think that her doing that is her true happiness, and also passing not just racially, but passing personality-wise as a happy person. And those different themes really do come together. As I said, Rebecca Hall directs this film really beautifully, the black and white. You're really sucked into the world, into this movie really, really quickly, not just because it's black and white, but it feels like old times. Not just with the black and white, but the actual setting, the costume design, the score. It really puts you back in like a 1920s, 30s, 40s film, which I commend Rebecca Hall a lot with her direction in the film. As I said, it tackles pretty meaningful themes that are going to teach people a lot of what's possibly still happening in this country today, even though this is taking place in a black and white time 19, 20, 34. And I forgot, I don't think they said when the movie actually takes place. But again, the actual direction from Rebecca Hall is really good. Again, she's a really good actress, and nice to see her do well in his directed role. Let's talk about some of the negatives that I have with this film. My main negative is that they do tackle at times too many themes. And the reason why I say that is because there are themes that are tackled so surface level that it doesn't go deep at all. As I said, there are some themes that just feel just put in there just to put it in there. There's a love triangle that feels like it's a love triangle happening, but it never really gets explored whatsoever between Nega, Holland, and Thompson's character. There's clearly a love triangle that never gets explored during the film. As I said, they try to do this thing where Tessa Thompson's kind of mad at their husband about how he's telling their kids about the horrors of the world and the lynching and all this different type of stuff. They never go really deep into that for the rest of the movie. There's like the chunks of themes that get put into a certain scene and then kind of get forgotten about for the rest of the film. And I wish the film would be a bit more focused on the actual passing aspect of the film, because it tries to do too many things, which makes all those things feel just forced and surface level dives into those really deep themes. And you can't do all that in one movie, and this movie's trying to do all that. Also, the third act ends really abruptly. You can't really believe it. I know this movie, you're not really walking in thinking there will be a big third act, but the ending does have a lot to say, and it kind of just ends abruptly. Like the movie just ends without much explanation what happens next to the characters. So that was a bit disappointing. So as I said, too many themes. Also, I think Andre Holland's character needed a lot more to do, the husband character, because we're really getting his character from his wife's point of view, but also it would be nice to have his point of view on their friendship, which never really gets brought up. There's also tension between Holland and Thompson's character that never ever gets resolved. So at times this movie has subplots and themes just put in just to be there and never get explored other than one or two scenes. So overall, this is a really solid film too. Ruth Negga, absolutely fantastic in this film, but Tessa Thompson is also fantastic. Two really great lead performances with a really great directorial debut for Rebecca Hall, but too many themes and too many subplots that are very surface level drag this film down a bit for me. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5, a 72% for this film on Netflix. That's my thoughts on this film. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe, and see my other movie reviews. Click that link right there. I'll see you guys soon.